What's going on, gamers? I am Merkaba18. Today, we're doing another setup video for Orcs Must Die Deathtrap. This is a brand new roguelike third-person 3D tower defense game. That is quite a mouthful, but we are going to dive in. This is Island of Observatory. We're going to talk about a lot with this one. At first glance, this one can seem very overwhelming, especially if you've just played it for the first time or you're learning where to set up. We got you covered on this one. So first things first, let's go through all of our traps. I am personally using Gabriella, as I often do. I think her trap reset is really, really powerful, and it really helps in solo play. But play whatever character you prefer. That does not really affect the setup that much. But there are 4 entry points, as is standard. With the filming of this video, you have 2 outside that start. So you got that ship and that ship. They do not cross over, so that is a very important element to remember. You cannot create a funnel by blocking off one path. They will break through the barricades, so that is lesson number 1. Now, when there are 2 separate paths like that, it becomes difficult to kind of like figure out at first glance how to fix that, but we got you. So you're going to put barricades here, and then you're going to come, so that will block that staircase off, and then you're going to come across here. And if you do this diagonally, it really does cut down on the number of them that you have to use. Block this here. And then come across here. Like so. And then reset that across here. Just make sure that your lines line up. So that that blocks all that off. Come through here. And block that off. And now you have created a 1 placement funnel. So essentially everything has to come through this area. There are a lot of setups that use these staircases. It can work, especially in early maps, but I don't find it to be as useful as this one, particularly when you end up with these 2 back doors over here. So these are the secondary spawn points right there. And right over here. So basically what that creates is a scenario where this is your funnel, and then the back door there is where they will all come through. You're going to want to watch for flyers and anti-air. So that's our first thing. Let's talk about all of our traps. This is my standard setup as the timing of this video. It can fluctuate from map to map, and I will mention that on the specific map. But for this one, you want to use the saw blade, the tar trap, the brimstone fire trap, the poison flower. The air vent will one-shot just about everything that is anti-air. And then you have the galvanized ball wall trap, which will bounce. Use it indoors where possible. And then my favorite personal trap is the briar branch, which will grow based on doing damage. So if everything is going to come through here, you kind of want to create a guaranteed funnel point, right? So that leaves you with 1 extra barricade in case one breaks. Just watch for any sappers if you're using that card, etc. But you can place your briar right here, and then let it grow outward. Okay, so leave everything from here forward open, at least on the ground, so that things will continue to grow, as that will grow quite a bit. As you get secondary doors, if you feel like it and you got extra money, you can put some stuff over here and over there. For the most part, this is your entry point. We can then do a little bit of saw blades right here.
Let's wreck them.
Most everything's going to run through a double panel wide right here. Do a couple of fire traps right there. And then right here, we're actually going to do a little poison trap to leave us an extra barricade there. If you felt like it, you could set it up a little bit differently. You could go like this and like this. Just depends on your preference. Really not going to make too much of a difference. And then these are going to go this direction, and you want to kind of fill this with like air traps or with fire traps. But really just depends on what you prefer. I can also make a case for another poison trap here since they're fairly cheap. Create an entire area there. Now, you're going to place... Gabriella's traps will reset anything in adjacent platform. So what that means is anything right here, and it'll highlight it if it's going to do that. So basically, if that trap is going to be affected by her reset, you're gonna see a little highlighted area. Now, I recommend highlighting these poison traps as often as possible, or the galvanized ball traps, so that they are resetting constantly. And in here, what we could do is just do one here, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with the other one. So you want to kind of put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. Excuse me. And then we're going to put one right here. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. And that can handle just about everything for the first wave or two. And then this will continue to grow out. We'll talk about roguelike cards here in just a minute. You can create a little bit of a cheap anti-air barricade here. Eventually, you can choose cards that will allow you to put them on the wall. But if you're feeling like it, you can put 2 there. But I highly recommend, and it is basically, especially for entry points on this map, you want to create like a little bit of an anti-air situation right here. Because everything that flies through here, and depending on how good you are at covering the rift, you may not need that many, but I recommend at least covering that much space and then augmenting it as you need. Then you come through here, and we're going to do just a couple of saw blades in case anything gets through all of that. And then from there, you can kind of just reset the mode. You don't want to do any more briars back here or anything like that. You can just put additional ball traps on the wall. You can do some poison. Make sure you put your tar before fire because it will slow them down. And then there are cards that will allow it to do more damage based on having tar on their person. Now, you can also put a poison trap here so that it is covering both of those. Now, that single trap right there is going to reset all of these. So it's going to end up with fewer charges, but it's going to reset quite a bit. And that is your sort of last line of defense for the first couple of waves. Very, very simple little setup here, and it will mostly handle everything for the first couple of waves, and then you're just going to build it out. Don't spend too much time building anything out there unless you have money. Most of it you're going to want to set up right back here behind this set of barricade. And then as you progress through and you get more flyers, you will put anti-air down in places like there, so that anything that flies through there or anything that flies through here or here is covered. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please watch for the very next one. Make sure to hit that sub button, check out the live streams, and enjoy these content setups. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again for the next one.